Which is better, the Samsung Galaxy A20 or the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus? Well, in this video, we're going to find out as we compare one of Samsung's budget offerings to one of the most high-end Samsung smartphones on the market. Follow me on Instagram at KevinBreezeTV. Please join the Kevin Breeze Tech community on Facebook to chat about budget smartphones, ask questions, and help others. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my comparison between the Samsung A20 and the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Now, in previous comparison videos that I've done to the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, such as my LG Stylo 5 versus Note 10 Plus video, I've had quite a few people comment asking why I'm even doing these comparisons, especially since there's such a huge price difference between these low-end phones and a flagship such as the Note 10 Plus. And the reason for that is because the purpose of the video is to show you what you're really getting for the extra money so that you can decide if it's really worth it or not. It's not all about whether or not you can afford the Note 10 Plus, because even if you can, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should be wasting your money on a more expensive phone when maybe you just need the bare essentials that you'd be able to get with a budget device. So after you're done watching this video, you should really take some time to think about whether or not you really need all the features that come with a flagship phone, or if you can just happily live your life with a budget device. Now, this version of the Samsung Galaxy A20 is the Metro by T-Mobile carrier version of the device. Now, you can also get this at other carriers such as Boost Mobile and other ones out there as well, and it's going to be making its way to more and more carriers over time too. But if you want to, you can get this device factory unlocked on Amazon for around $170. So I will be leaving a link in the video description for that. Now, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is currently retailing for $1,099 factory unlocked. So essentially, you can get at least 5 Samsung Galaxy A20s for the price of one Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Now, of course, if you get these devices at the various carriers that they're offered at, you can probably get better deals on them, but those are the retail prices for the phones. Now, the display on the Samsung Galaxy A20 is a 6.4-inch display coming in at 720p with a 19.5:9 aspect ratio. And the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus has a larger display at 6.8 inches at a 1440p resolution with a 19:9 aspect ratio. So you can see, holding these two devices up next to each other with the bottoms of them lining up, the display on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is definitely a lot larger. Now you can see also width-wise, it seems to be pretty close, maybe a little bit larger on the Note 10 Plus, but that's pretty much the situation that you're getting with the displays in these two devices. Now with the Galaxy A20, you are getting a teardrop notch on the top, which I'm definitely a fan of, especially compared to the notches that we're getting with the iPhone XS, for example, because with this teardrop notch, you're still able to see a lot of the notification icons on the top of the device. So that's definitely a good compromise there. But on the bottom of the phone, we do get a decently large sized chin. Again, not really a big issue, especially considering that this is a budget smartphone. Now with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, we are getting a hole punch here on the top for the front-facing camera. Definitely a big fan of this design as well. And in some ways, you can argue that it definitely takes up a lot less space than a teardrop notch. So I'm a big fan of that. And on the bottom here, we have a very small chin, almost non-existent. So this device features a very good screen-to-body ratio. In addition to that, the display on the Note 10 Plus is a bit curved. So that's a nice premium feature there. But we do not get a curved display on the Galaxy A20. Now, even though the Galaxy A20 is 720p compared to 1440p with the Note 10 Plus, it still does a good job keeping up. I mean, both displays do look very good. They both have very good colors. They both look very crisp and clear as well. So I'm definitely a big fan of the displays on both of these devices. So definitely if you decide to go with the Galaxy A20, you're still going to be very happy with the display. Of course, it's not as high of resolution as the Note 10 Plus, but it still looks really good. Now up top here, both devices of course feature front-facing cameras. On the Galaxy A20, we have a 8 megapixel front-facing camera that does give you a wide-angle option. And with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, we have a 10 megapixel front-facing camera that gives you a wide-angle option as well. Of course, you're getting better quality with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, But I'll tell you what, the Galaxy A20 does a really good job keeping up. So definitely watch my full review videos on both of these devices to get a good idea of the photo and video quality that they both offer. Now with the Galaxy A20, we are getting 32 gigabytes of internal storage with microSD card expansion. And with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, we are getting a lot more storage at 256 gigabytes. Now, if you want to pay a little bit extra, you can also get this device in the 512 gigabyte version. So either way, you're getting significantly more storage with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus than you are getting with the Galaxy A20. But still, 32 gigs of internal storage isn't too bad. A lot of people can definitely live with that, so I think you're going to be very happy with both phones. Now, there is no wireless charging with the Galaxy A20, but we do get wireless charging with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Both devices do have fingerprint sensors. However, on the Galaxy A20, the fingerprint sensor is located on the back. So we'll give that a try right now. And as you can see, that was very quick. And with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, we have a fingerprint sensor inside of the display itself. So you can see that was very quick too. So both methods of unlocking your phone, whether it's on the back or the front, work well on these two devices. But of course, having an in-screen fingerprint sensor is definitely a premium feature that we're seeing more and more with the various flagship smartphones out there. But I do think that the fingerprint sensor on the back side of the A20 might be just a bit more reliable. But I definitely do like having that fingerprint sensor on the Note 10 Plus being inside of the display. Now there are some major differences with the camera modules on these two devices. Now with the Galaxy A20, we have a dual camera setup with a 13 megapixel main camera and a 5 megapixel secondary camera. What's great about the two camera setup is that you are getting portrait mode. But another great thing too is that secondary camera on the Galaxy A20 is actually a wide angle camera. So you can indeed take wide angle photos with the Samsung Galaxy A20. Now, with the Galaxy Note 10, we get a 3-camera setup here with a 12 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel secondary camera that is actually a telephoto camera that will give you 3x optical zoom. And finally, we have a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle camera that will give you, of course, wide angle photos. So in all categories, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 will give you a better photography experience, but it is still cool to see that the A20 does feature a wide-angle camera on the backside, especially for its very affordable price tag. With the Samsung Galaxy A20, we are getting 3 gigabytes of RAM, and with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, we are getting 12 gigabytes of RAM. So 4 times the amount of RAM with this device. Now with the Samsung Galaxy A20, we are getting a Samsung Exynos 7904 processor, which is a pretty decent processor. You are going to get good, smooth performance with this device, so that is nice to see. And with the Note 10 Plus, we're getting the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 processor, which of course is one of the latest and greatest processors from Qualcomm designed for flagship phones. Video recording with the Samsung Galaxy A20 maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second, and video recording with the Note 10 Plus maxes out at 4K at 60 frames per second. Now, the battery capacity of the Galaxy A20 is 4,000 milliamp hours, and what's funny is that with the Note 10 Plus, the battery really isn't much larger. We get a 4,300 milliamp hour internal battery with the Note 10 Plus, so only 300 extra milliamp hours of battery capacity with this device, which is pretty amazing. So the good news though is that with both phones, you are going to be getting good battery life. With the Note 10 Plus, the device is very well optimized to be very power efficient. So definitely not a problem there with getting pretty good longevity with your battery with either phone. Now, the software in both devices is Android 9 Pie, which is the latest version of Android. Both phones do run Samsung Skin on top. The good news though is that the Skin itself is very well optimized and runs smoothly, but you are getting a lot of bloatware, such as the Galaxy Store. You're getting Samsung Notes in both phones. So it's definitely not a stock experience here. I would say that with both devices, the bloatware is tolerable. For me personally, I do prefer stock Android, but I could definitely live with Samsung Skin on these devices. Now that we've compared the specifications of these two phones, let's now take a closer look at the hardware. So I already talked a lot about the front here. We have 720p with the Galaxy A20 versus 1440p with the Note 10 Plus. We have 6.4 inches versus 6.8 inches, and we have a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio versus a 19 by 9 aspect ratio. So some pretty major differences with these devices. Now on the left side here, we have just the slot for the microSD card and SIM card on the Galaxy A20. And on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, we have the volume button and power button. Kind of strange that it's on the left side of the Note 10 Plus, but it's another thing that you can kind of live with. Now, taking a look on the right side of these two devices, on the Galaxy A20, we have the volume button and we have the power button. And on the Note 10 Plus, we have nothing. Taking a look at the top of these two phones, on the Galaxy A20, we just have the noise-canceling microphone. And on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, we have the noise-canceling microphone, and we have the slot for the microSD card and SIM card. Now, taking a look at the bottom of these two phones, they both have a speaker in the bottom, they both have a microphone, and they both have a USB-C port for charging and data transfer. But that's where the similarities end. With the Galaxy A20, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, we don't have that, but we do have a stylus on the bottom, which of course is why this is a Note device. So the stylus is very useful, there's no way around that, and it's a great stylus, probably one of the best styluses in the industry, and far more advanced than the one that you'll find with the LG Stylo 5, for example. So it's very useful. Now, for some people out there, they might not use it as often, so it really comes down to your personal lifestyle and needs. So you'll definitely have to think about whether or not you would use the stylus with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. And then taking a look at the back side of the two phones, we already talked about the cameras and those differences. Both phones have a Samsung logo on the back. They both have the flash. We do have a fingerprint sensor on the back of the Galaxy A20, which we don't have with the Note 10 Plus because it's in the display. And of course, there's some major differences in colors here. Now, both phones do feature reflective backs here, which is not good for fingerprints. Both phones do absorb quite a few fingerprints here, but I do like the designs overall of both devices. Let's now do a speed test comparison of these two phones, starting with pulling up the camera. So 1, 2, 3, go. And it was very quick on both phones, but definitely a lot faster on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Now, take note here that the camera applications for both devices do look pretty similar. So that's kind of interesting. Let's now start Google Chrome. So 1, 2, 3, go. And it was very instant on the Note 10 Plus and a little bit slower on the Galaxy A20. Let's now go to yahoo.com. 1, 2, 3, go. And pretty quick on both phones, definitely a little bit quicker on the Note 10 Plus. Let's go to engadget.com. 1, 2, 3, go. And it was quicker on the Note 10 Plus, as you can see. Let's try out scrolling on both phones. Pretty smooth scrolling on the Galaxy A20. And on the Note 10 Plus, very smooth scrolling. Probably a lot smoother, but overall, I'm pretty happy with the web browsing experience on both devices here. So I think if you do light to moderate web browsing, you'll be happy with either phone. Of course, there's no way around it. The Note 10 Plus will give you a better web browsing experience, but you got to keep in mind that it does cost like 5 times more. So is it worth spending the extra money on the Note 10 Plus? You'll have to decide on that on your own, but of course, I'm sure you already have an opinion, so let me know in the comment section below. Let's go to this page right here. 1, 2, 3, go. And a lot quicker on the Note 10 Plus, as you can see. Also take note here how much more content is able to be shown on the Note 10 Plus compared to the Galaxy A20. But you can see that text looks really good on both devices. Both are very readable, so you're going to have a very good experience with both of them. And zooming in and out is very smooth on both devices too. So I'm just very happy with the A20 especially and how it really does measure up to a lot of flagships out there like the Note 10 Plus. So I'm really interested to know your thoughts about the Galaxy A20 and how it compares to the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Now, of course, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is the better phone of the two, but is it worth spending about 5 times the amount of money on? I want to know your thoughts about that. For me personally, I think for most people, the Galaxy A20 will definitely get the job done and fulfill your needs. But if you are super into photography and you want a bunch of different photography options, then you might want to go with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. But this is Kevin here. This is the Samsung Galaxy A20 versus the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.